Steve, I'm going to play a little game show that I used to play on the Raiders' Finest Hour based on the year that Eli Manning was drafted. This is how long this goes back. Eli Manning
Eli.
the old Eli. Uh, remember, there's that trade with the Chargers, Phillip
Chargers.
Rivers, and he ends up with the Giants. And ESPN on the crawl on the bottom, you could tell they wanted to ask who should be the Giants' starting quarterback next year. Eli Manning, Kurt Warner, or Kerry Collins. Then they decided, no, scratch that, change that. Let's do, should Eli Manning be the Giants starter? Yes or no? Oh, okay, all right, let's do that. Punch that in. Unfortunately, though, like when you start to say one word and maybe finish with the next, they left the name Kerry Collins in there with their yes-no question. So the question of should Eli Manning start for the Giants next year's options were yes, no, or Kerry Collins. And thus, here on the Fitz Blitz, one more time, we're bringing back America's favorite game show, Yes, No, or Kerry Collins.
Yeah.
Time to play Yes, No, or Kerry Collins, Stephen Babb.
I'm
so
ready.
Let's start off. Expanded playoff field, split with the Dodgers early on. Let's jump right to it. Do the Giants sneak into this playoff picture here at the end of the season? Yes, no, or Kerry Collins?
For those watching on YouTube, I'm going to remove physically my fan hat that says SF on it with Bruce Lee, by the way, on the side.
Ooh, that's kind of fun.
I'm going to go Kerry Collins.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say Kerry Collins.
Okay.
And, who knows what we're going to see. I mean, nobody would have predicted a split against the Dodgers in LA.
Yeah.
So let's give it some time. Ask me in 2 weeks.
I gotcha.
And Kerry Collins might switch to Eli Manning.
Okay. Yeah. We're both Kerry Collinsing this one then, as it's just too early to tell. I wish we could tell, but man, the manner in which they had to win these games, we'll see how sustainable that is. But nonetheless, you like the grit. You like that there is some young talent coming up. Yastrzemski has started off nicely. On the flip side here, we'll go across the bay. Yes, no, or Kerry Collins on the A's. And we're cranking this up a notch for a team that's already been the wild card the past 2 years. Now there's trouble in the division around them with pitching injuries. Mm-hmm. Houston, the Rangers. Angels don't necessarily look quite like contenders just yet. Seattle's still really young. Yes, no, or Kerry Collins, do the Oakland A's win the West?
I am going to remind everybody that I might be a Giants fan, but my AL team has been the A's since 1988. So I'm going to say yes. Yes. Trash cans are outlawed. We can hear everything that's going to happen for Houston. And the A's, back-to-back 97-win seasons, essentially the same team coming back again, which has not been usual for them.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes. The A's win the division for the AL West.
We're both on the same page again here. I'm saying yes too, considering how the offense has grown. Okay, that's where your offensive improvement was going to come from. Was just more maturity, another year under the belt of your budding stars, and the farm with the pitching, along with having some veterans. The pitching's heavy. They're utilizing it. They're bringing up a lot of the young arms. They're here now. That's a big time advantage for them as well. That depth right there. So I'm actually going to take a yes on that one as well. Okay. All right. That's good. That's a good start here. Let's see. Question 3 for yes, no, or Kerry Collins. In 2005, this quarterback threw for 3,759 yards for the Oakland Raiders with 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Yes, no, or Kerry Collins?
Let me think about this one real quick. Can I phone a friend? I'm going to go with Kerry Collins.
Oh, man.
Timmy. Kerry Collins, Tim.
3 for 3, guy. What is going on? You're good at this game. All right. One more yes, no, Kerry Collins right here. The DH sticks around next season. Yes, no, or Kerry Collins?
Oh, man. I really want to say no, but it's going to be a yes. They're going to stick with it as much as I don't want it. that's why they're going to do it, specifically to spite just me. No, I'm not a fan of it in the NL, but I have a feeling they're going to keep it around.
Okay.
But it will be interesting to see, even in this shortened season, what the actual numbers are on the NL side. I'll be interested to see that at the end of the year. But I'm going to say they will. Yeah.
That's what I'm factoring in, because I used to be a big time yes coming into this. But after a weekend where somebody who was impartial to it and was kind of like, yeah, it's fine, let's do this, is noticing the lack of late game intrigue. I'm curious to see what executives, even some players and managers say, and especially if this, it provides another job, is shot down a little bit for hitters. This could end up a hitter versus pitcher sort of beef here of who's benefiting from it. I'm going to go Kerry Collins. I'm coming back down from the yes I was at to a Kerry Collins, and what you're talking about with seeing the stats play out is a factor in this as well. We'll see how it shakes out. Is it probably a yes? Yeah, I think it may happen. It's just enough Kerry Collins on top of this one right now, though.
Just a couple of dink and dunks from old Kerry.
That could be there. So you never know. That's what I'm factoring in here right now. We also have to factor in the fact that COVID-19 is still alive and well in this country that didn't decide to really commit to the sacrifice. It's like baseball teams that are tanking and then rebuilding. You got to commit to the tank. Okay, don't pull out early. Don't start signing. We saw San Diego screw that up before. I think maybe they finally got it right. They look like they are going to contend this year.
There's a lot of rules to live by in what you just said.
Yes. So and they didn't, we haven't executed it right. We didn't commit to it, got impatient. Baseball is a patient man's game, so America's not real good at that right now either.
No.
So unfortunately, local sports in the area are going to get pushed till the second semester. That's going to happen at Cal Maritime. That is happening on the high school level as well. So we're going to have to deal with that. There's a piece in the Vallejo Times Herald, that's Thomas Gase on that one recently, talking to Lane Hawkins, athletic director, football coach at St. Vincent, a guest on this show before. He said, we're going to try to do what's best for the student athlete. We want to have them have a well-rounded high school experience between academics and athletics, and that's what it's about. This definitely puts a whole new twist on this. So California joins New Mexico as the only states thus far to postpone high school sports until next year because of the coronavirus. The fall postponement is not unprecedented. During the Spanish flu of 1918, the CIF's Southern Section held its football championship in March of 1919. So it isn't that unprecedented. It's not that weird. This is what you do in a time like this. The North Coast Section, which a lot of teams in the Vallejo area find themselves in, the North Coast Section, CIF, breakdown, those fall sports, it's all being pushed off. Cross country, football, gymnastics, cheer, volleyball, water polo, field hockey, all getting pushed off. So you're going to have first dates of practice happening in December. Like the first day you can have cross country practices is December 14th. Same for the first time you can have a football practice, volleyball. That's what it's all going to fall in. December 14th, you can have your first practice. You're probably having an exhibition game January 27th. You're not having a final competition until mid-March. In fact, cross country, March 13th, my 45th birthday, will be the last time that there will be a meet. Football, the last game for them is going to be March 20th, I believe. So everything's going to spill over into the spring. It's what we're looking at. It's been done before. Pandemics make you have to audible. And here we are.
Absolutely. And, there's the national narrative is that there's a big rush to try to get students back in school. And I like what the governor here in California said last week, saying that last week, might have even been a week plus ago, about your district has to have 14 consecutive days of declining COVID tests, which, that hasn't happened yet. and I don't see it happening anytime in the foreseeable future. And I think that's a smarter move than what is being peddled on the national stage as far as wanting to get kids back in school.
Yeah.
It's tough. My daughter lives with her mom, and her mom is fortunate enough to be able to work from home.
Okay.
But having to kind of balance, having a kid there with you while you're working the entire time, I was a stay-at-home dad. I know the challenges of having a child with you all day long, and what that poses to a lot of parents and stuff out there. And while, it'd be great to start having kids go back to school, you can't trust a kid to be safe and not spread germs. I mean, you can ask any preschool teacher out there, if a kid has a cold, they please urge their parents, please keep them home, because every single kid in that class will have a cold by the end of 2 days. And it's the same thing as you move up through the grades. I mean, you could even have middle schoolers that were like, this isn't real. Next thing you know, everybody's got COVID. Yeah. I mean, freshmen in high school. Anybody out there ever heard of mono?
Yeah.
You know how mono moves rampant through a school? The same thing is going to happen with COVID. So you can't be rushing your kids back too soon, because we still don't even have a handle on this.
Yeah. We
don't even have an understanding of what any long-term effects are. I mean, we're seeing athletes go back to playing sports after having tested positive and now being cleared. Yeah. Are they really clear? Like, are they have a flare-up? Are they all of a sudden going to test positive again? You don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. For Cal Maritime, sports of the fall going to get pushed over into the spring as well. So if you'd like to intern for me in the spring, I'm going to need some help. So I'll let you know.
You got my number. Have your people call my people.
Yeah, no doubt. So, and with Cal Maritime, it's going to be the students who don't need to be there to drive a ship and put an engine back together won't be there. So the international business and logistics, the global studies and maritime affairs, and the oceanography majors will not be on campus. Those are, in the non-engineering, need to have hands-on training folks. Those kids will be doing virtually for the fall semester, at least. Ideally, they're back in the second semester.